Match go to 2 out of 3. That was a pretty intense one, so this could definitely go as well.
Right.
All right. Both players tossing out their Pokemon here. Let's see who we're going to get. Seijin going with the Garchomp and Gyarados lead here, and the Garchomp Zapdos lead for Omari.
A little bit of a throwback back to the old school back in 2009. Zapdos and Garchomp, very popular. Discharge, Earthquake, and Seijin coming out with Garchomp and Gyarados. Gyarados is not going to enjoy facing off against that Zapdos, and at the same time, it does get a fire off that Intimidate onto Garchomp, right? But even if Seijin does decide to Mega Evolve and get that Dark typing instead of that Flying typing, we saw earlier that Omari was not too shy to just fire off the Earthquake and fire off the Thunderbolt into that Gyarados slot anyways.
All right, looks like Omari actually going to go with a switch here on Gyarados. Brings in Conch Elder, switching out Garchomp into Conch Elder. Very nice, and the withdraw there on Gyarados. Probably in, is it going to be Pachirisu? There he is. Dragon Claw, though, from Garchomp onto Conch Elder, doing a decent amount of damage, almost down to 50%, and the Volt Absorb, of course, not taking any damage. A safe switch there for Seijin.
Right, smart switch right there from Seijin. Not really healing back because it was already at full health, but really a good switch for Seijin to just kind of get Pachirisu in. I really liked what Omari did with that Conch Elder. Conch Elder, of course, really popular last year. Hasn't seen much play this year because of the new Fairy typing, and it actually lost a lot of things that it cannot get in X and Y, such as Elemental Punches, really just hurting its usage. But I believe he switched in that Conch Elder to possibly have a better matchup against that Mega Gyarados if it did decide to stay in. So really good switch right there from both players, but looking at it, it looks like Seijin had the better switch because he did not take any damage at all.
Well, it looks like we're going to get the Detect here, so no damage on Conch Elder. Rock Slide. Conch Elder, of course, is protected this turn. It's going to do some okay damage to Zapdos there, taking it down to almost 50% there, procking the Key Berry that we saw last time, raising the defense. Oh, the flinch, though. It can't move. Super Fang into Conch Elder. So not too much damage done this turn, but unfortunate on that flinch.
Yeah, and I really want to see what Zapdos could do. Zapdos really well known to carry, hidden powers that could face off against Garchomp if it really chose to. So, I mean, Zapdos probably could have even switched with U-turn as we saw earlier. But it's really just this Zapdos needs to find a way to deal some damage. And Conch Elder, I mean, it can hit pretty hard. It still hits like a truck. And probably going to be able to do a good amount of damage to that Pachirisu if it is able to get off an attack this turn and hit that Pachirisu.
Definitely. All right, looks like both players are locked in. We see the Follow Me from Pachirisu. Wants to take both of these attacks here. For Garchomp, we see the Dragon Claw going first, though. Garchomp so fast. Conch Elder in the red. Zapdos U-turning. Oh my gosh, the bulk, though, on that Patchy. The bulk on Pachirisu. Omari going to try and switch it up here. Bringing in the Talonflame. And Conch Elder Earthquake doesn't affect the Talonflame there. Nice switch. A lot of damage on the Pachirisu, but hanging on in the yellow. Conch Elder losing a little bit of hit points there. And Pachirisu, of course, going to eat up on that Citrus Berry.
Right, and Omari, in my opinion, is still in a tough spot. That Conch Elder is easily going to be knocked out very soon, as we actually see Conch Elder just be able to do a good amount of damage to that Pachirisu, but still not able to knock it out. I mean, that was a Life Orb Earthquake from Conch Elder with a very high attack stat, and Pachirisu took it.
Yeah.
It hung on, and I mean, really safe switch right there. Zapdos gonna, when he U-turned into the Pachirisu, switched out into the Talonflame. Talonflame gonna be able to kind of control the game a little bit by firing off Brave Birds or Flare Blitzes or whatever attack that this Talonflame chose as its same type attack boosted fire type attack.
Yeah, very true. It looks like we're going to actually get the switch here on Pachirisu, back into Gyarados, getting that Intimidate off on both of these physical attacking Pokemon. How unfortunate there. Nice switch there from Seijin. And we do see the Brave Bird. Let's see what slot he's going for. Oh, into the Garchomp. Doesn't quite get the feint there. The Rough Skin. Oh, man. And that recoil. Mach Punch, though. Is it enough? Doubles up into the slot. Can he finish him? Oh, looks like Conch Elder going to get fainted here, but I think we might see the feint. There it is. Yes, on the Garchomp. Always hard to see if there's that last little sliver of health there. So needed to get rid of that Garchomp there, but tough situation still, I think, for Omari.
Yeah, at the cost of that Conch Elder, but I believe that Conch Elder was going to get knocked out this turn anyways because Garchomp, of course, from Sajin would have been able to knock it out easily as, I mean, Gyarados comes in, firing off Intimidates onto the Conch Elder and the Talonflame. Big Intimidate right there as Talonflame now going to be pretty weak, and we just saw that Brave Bird do barely any damage at all.
All right, Omari bringing the Garchomp back in.
And one interesting thing to note is, unless that Garchomp is actually Mega, I don't believe Omari decided to bring a Mega this game.
No, I think we didn't see the Kangaskhan, and I was actually wondering about that because Kangaskhan was so shut down last game. I was wondering if it was like, do we need to conserve the Kangaskhan?
Right,
oh, he does actually bring the Mega Garchomp. What? Double Mega. All right, the follow me on Pachirisu here. It's Talonflame setting up the Tailwind, though. Nice. Going to give that extra speed to Garchomp that loses its speed from that Mega form. Earthquake doesn't affect the Gyarados, who hasn't Mega'd yet. No damage to its own Talonflame. Is it going to pick it up on Pachirisu? It falls. Nice.
Omari takes a pretty good 3-2 lead as Gyarados actually gets to set up a Dragon Dance. That is scary.
There it is, the Follow Me Dragon Dance.
But at the same time, really clutch play from Talonflame to set up that Tailwind, like you said. So that Tailwind going to be able to set up Garchomp to be fast after that speed drop from being Mega.
I'm loving this matchup right now. So it does look like Omari's Talonflame will for sure be faster here.
Right, and that Tailwind, I mean, that's going to pay off huge. I mean, Garchomp right now going to be able to fire off really powerful attacks onto either Gyarados or Talonflame. Really unfortunate that that Tailwind came up on Omari's side for Sajin because he thought he was pretty safe. He got up the Dragon Dance. Gyarados hiding behind a Dragon Dance is actually very scary.
All right, we do see the Gyarados finally going Mega here. All right, an intense turn here for Omari. Needs to make it 1-1, breaking the mold. Quick guard though from Talonflame. Oh, Omari's making a gesture here. I'm not sure if that means he went with the Brave Bird there. Dragon Claw, though, a lot of damage here. And another Dragon Dance. That's huge. That is huge for Sajin.
Yeah, Sajin realizing that his Gyarados is going to be pretty safe because that Quick Guard, just such a huge Quick Guard to prevent that Talonflame from being able to fire off a Brave Bird. So now that Mega Gyarados at +2 speed, +2 attack, going to be very dangerous. Going to be able to do a lot of damage to either Pokemon, and that Gyarados is actually a pretty bulky Pokemon, so I'm pretty sure it can take an attack from that Garchomp and dish back so much damage back to that Garchomp. So Sajin, I mean, you saw Omari, he respected that move from Sajin. You respect that, to be able to set up another Dragon Dance, just in the bravery for that, right?
Yes, agree with you there. It looks like we're actually going to see the Brave Bird here going down into the Talonflame slot, picks up the feint there, big damage. Drops the Talonflame, but also damaged by the recoil and the Life Orb, feints himself. Uh-oh, it's down to the 2 Megas. What's going to happen here? The Waterfall from Gyarados off of a double Dragon Dance. Huge damage, but Garchomp. Oh, the flinch! The flinch!
Unfortunate for Omari, and he is actually visually upset. That is a huge flinch. But right now, it is going to be Zapdos and Garchomp left versus this Gyarados. It's still not over. I mean, Omari still has options, It's just, this Gyarados is so scary.
I'm at a loss for words here. That flinch was just the most clutchest of clutchy clutch. It was so real, but you're correct. Zapdos is on the field with a double Dragon Dance here. It's going to be fast. It's going to be strong. We do see the Waterfall again going first, of course, into the Zapdos. Maybe seeing it as the bigger threat here. Gets it down to 0. It feints. Garchomp substituting, though. It's going to give it an extra turn here. That's big. The Tailwind peters out, though.
And one of the things, though, this Garchomp hiding behind a substitute, that Gyarados is going to fire off a Waterfall here. Garchomp's going to get another attack. So, Garchomp, can it get a critical hit on this?
Oh, is the crit real? Earthquake! Mega Jump! Oh, hanging on.
And that should do it, Sajin, with that +2 Dragon Dance.
There it
Gyarados
is.
going to be able to easily pick up the knockout on Garchomp. And
There's the fate.
great set from both players, not going to lie.
That was incredible. I think it all came down to that flinch.
Right?
got